What's up, everybody? It's Thursday. I'm back, and I'm doing a newish song from OTYKEN. I've never been entirely sure how to pronounce that. Hopefully, that's close. The song's called "Mammoth." We'll get into it in just a second. Before we do, a couple things. As always, I do have my coffee. Particularly good cup today. I'm not a professional. I'm not a vocal coach. I'm not a guitar teacher. Please don't expect me to be analyzing this song from those angles. Okay, I do this for fun. I do this because I enjoy it. And don't be a dick. You know, I try to be thoughtful and respectful to the artist, to the fan base. When I do these, whether or not I like the song, I try to be balanced on how I approach it. And I would appreciate it if we could at least keep that in the comments, right? This is my opinion. This is not indictment of anybody's taste, whether or not I like it. So let's keep it chill. All right. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. This is Mammoth by OTYKEN. They're from like Siberia, right? They're from northeast. Very cool. I said at the beginning they're from Siberia. I hope that is correct. It could be Mongolia. Could be. They're steppe. This group, right? They represent steppe people. Whatever part of the steppe they're from. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, lines, geography, you know, countries and states, those are sort of arbitrary. So they're from the land of the mammoth. I really, really like groups that either incorporate or primarily use traditional instruments. You know, The Who is another one that I've reviewed a few times that uses that. Bloodywood from India, they use a lot of traditional Indian instrumentation. They do use traditional instruments and percussion, but the way they make their music is a little bit more using the sort of style of Indian music versus just the instruments. This is, you know, I mean, you've got the ox head, bow, every culture has the same two-stringed instruments, and they're all different. They all have different names. The one I remember is shamisen, and I'm sure that that's not what they're playing, but it's similar, right? Those two-stringed instruments that are really widely spread throughout China, Mongolia, the steppe. You've got the standard drum, right? The throat singing, the vocals from the male that they had on that was really cool. It's just a unique skill to have. I don't speak the language naturally, so I'm just really reading the lyrics to follow along. It seems to be an elegy type song, right? Mourning the loss of the world before. Interestingly, at least this one, you know, the Ice Age can't be attributed to human-made climate issues. So that was a tragedy for many animals, but at least that one we can't blame on ourselves. Beautiful setting, the video, you know, like the steppe is not a friendly place to live, but it is beautiful if you're there for the summer months, the warm months when you can see the ground. I love mountainous regions. I love getting up above the tree lines and seeing, you know, the tundra and the ponds, lakes that are up above, hanging on the mountains. So this, you know, I love those sorts of environments. I thought it was really beautiful out there. They have a very beautiful lead singer. I won't say more, but she is very beautiful. Something that struck me, you know, I really try hard not to be chauvinistic about these things or to look at, you know, things through a modern lens. But I really appreciate cultures and societies that have worked to preserve their traditions. I don't think all traditions are good, and I don't think that things are good just because they're traditional. But I do think that you lose something when you homogenize a people entirely to look like Westerners. And not just Westerners, but the modern world, right? I think that the world is a much cooler place when people are wearing traditional clothing and doing traditional hairstyles and traditional makeup and all that stuff. And so watching, you know, seeing the garb, seeing them doing the makeup, it made me think someday, 50 years from now, 200 years from now, who knows, there will be people who are still keeping alive the tradition of putting on foundation, putting on eyeliner, putting on, you know, eyelash, right, mascara, whatever. And that will be viewed as keeping alive the traditions of the past. And that is a weird thing to think about, right? When you get the perspective of like, look, I'm sitting here in a chair in front of my computer in 2024, right? Someday I'll be dead. Someday I will be so dead that people don't even remember who I was. I'll be so dead that the language I spoke will be dead. will these videos still exist? You know, will there be a hard drive somewhere that has just, 10,000 YouTube videos that somebody downloaded and nobody knows what they mean? Nobody knows what they're for. Maybe people don't know how to access them. But, in 2200, somebody gets a Skibbity Biden video or something. We humans, our lives are so short. I know I'm waxing philosophical here, but our lives are so short that we don't really contextualize history very well. The U.S. has been around for about getting on 250 years now, which to me, that's a long time. It's many times longer than I've been alive. But the Roman Empire existed for close to 1,000 years, right? In the East, even longer. So we're not even a quarter of the way there in the U.S. The ancient empires of China, the empire of Assyria, of Sumer, the Akkadians, right? They were running stuff for upwards of 1,000 years, 1,500 years. And the amount of culture shift that happens over 100 years is enough for most people to be sort of dizzied by it. But when you talk about a culture that can look back 1,500 years on its own history, not just world history, you start to see just how different people used to be, just how changed the world is. And we don't know how to project it out, right? 100 years ago, there was no such thing as plastic. How could anybody have predicted what plastic would have done in the world? Certainly there was no internet. There was no internet 50 years ago, 55. Who could have predicted what the world would look like in 50 years with the development of the internet? So I have no idea what's coming. Some of it will be cool, some of it will be good, some of it will probably be awful. And who knows what technologies we will adopt, abandon, what will disappear, what will get created. But something that would be worth remembering for everybody is, again, not to get too druidic here or anything, but the earth, the trees, the plants, the animals, the water, it existed before we were here. It will exist after we're here. And it would be in our best interest to have a healthy relationship with it. Not because I personally believe that there's any spirit to the earth, just because we have to live on it. And we would be better off if we protected and preserved, Anyway, I really like this video. It made me think thoughts about global change and huge time scales, and that's always fun for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. A little bit more rambly than some of them. Got a little bit more philosophical than I usually do, but hopefully somebody out there thought it was interesting. I'm going to wrap it up here, though. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And don't talk to cops.